My first video on this channel featured a visit to the Classic Rock Show in Liverpool, which was uploaded on the 14th of February 2020, which is what started it all off.
Good morning everybody, my name's Kev Berry.
I've seen this production many times, which has been on tour at the beginning of each year now for over a decade. It is a production that I as a musician always inspires me. Like many of its fans, I love the iconic setlist that never fails to impress. The sound and lighting are amazing, and the talent and skill of the artist is flawless in delivering note-for-note accuracy of each track performed. But for me personally, it is the overall experience that makes the Classic Rock Show very special, which is after all a celebration of great iconic music. But how is it all brought together? Well, Ricardo Afonso has been a regular in the show until recent years, making a return to the tour in 2023. Filmed here performing the all-time Led Zeppelin classic, Whole Lotta Love, you have to agree that Ricardo has the vocal range and personality to deliver a brilliant tribute to Robert Plant. In this final part of this series, Ricardo shares his personal experiences of his time away from the show to share with you, the fans of the Classic Rock Show.
Ricardo Afonso, welcome to Gigs and Guitars. I'm Kev Berry and we're doing a short series on the Classic Rock Show, and you've been away for some years from the Classic Rock Show, now you're back. What's the story?
Well, 8 years. 8, 7, 8. I think it's 8, yeah, isn't that 2016? So yeah, 7 years. I had a wonderful time with the CRS way back when, and we did the international tour in Europe. We also did the tour in the UK, and then because of a series of malpractice on my part, I fell ill.
Right.
Yeah, I felt ill, and my voice kind of went.
Right.
So it was a series of events leading up to it. So it wasn't CRS's fault. It was a bit of my fault as well, a bit of bad fortune, I suppose.
Yeah.
And I developed this acid reflux.
Ah, right.
So,
yes.
And due to misuse of medication, bad food habits, and also just a bit of lifestyle. And by this I mean this continuous performers have this thing which is sometimes we carry on going forward regardless. So get me on stage regardless. I feel a bit ill, I'll take something, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
So those things have a snowball effect. One day might work, the next day won't work as much, and then you just keep adding to that self-medication and stuff like that. Eventually you pay the toll, and it was exactly what happened to me. So a combination of the type of singing, the lifestyle, the food habits, and just a lot of things, and a bit of bad fortune, and a bit of stubbornness as well, of not wanting to stop and not listening to your body.
Yeah.
So so that's what happened. I took some time off of everything in my career, went back to Portugal. I got better.
Yeah.
I came back. Gladly enough, I was able to do the musical I've always wanted to do, which was the one that escaped me in 2016 when I fell ill and I had the role in my hands. Yeah. And I had to call the producer saying that I couldn't do the job. This was straight after CRS.
Yes.
But then I got to play the role. Yeah. Life came bright again. I left the dark clouds behind me, and here we are.
Fantastic. So how long were you out of action for? How long did it take
for
you
just
to
under
recover?
3 years.
You know?
Yeah, just under 3 years.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That's quite a long time, isn't it, in terms of not being able to work effectively?
Yeah.
So how did you manage that?
Well, I have very, very strong family foundations, and all of us in the family, we support each other. Yeah. And I have a tremendous wife, a lioness, my gorgeous Alicia.
Fantastic.
And she just took over the reins.
Well, that's Alicia, isn't it?
Alicia.
Yes.
Alicia Afonso, my wife, my gorgeous wife. And so it's basically that, Kevin. Great support from friends and family. Yeah. We still have the school here in the UK, and back then we had it as well, so that kept us going as a family, because everyone needs income. So that kept us going, and yeah, it was just a combination of everyone pitching in and helping when I wasn't feeling my best. But as I said, it all turned out positively, and that's how I'd like to focus on it. I don't want to brush anything aside, but I focus on the positive things that I took from that. I learned lessons from it, valuable lessons.
That's what life is all about, isn't it? Each day's a day for learning, you know. And so let me just take you sort of back in time. I've not seen you live in the Classic Rock Show yet, so I'm in the audience tonight watching, and I've seen you on video many times doing Bat Out of Hell, the iconic tracks that the Classic Rock Show do. And to be honest, you've got a great voice. And it's, you know, when you sort of mention you've disappeared through like health and things, are we back to where we were, or are you better, or how do you feel?
Different. That's the best answer I can give you. I've lost certain things. I've gained others. And the thing is, if you pay attention to what happens to you in life, you know, you gain experience. Right, so you learn how to do things in a better way, not necessarily. So what I've got, the end result is not necessarily better; it's something different.
Just something different. I think that's a good way to sort of put a mark on it, is by saying, "Well, I am back. I'm not the same as I was, but it is different. It's not going to be possibly." I mean, do you think people may notice a difference? Do you think in a positive way?
In terms of range, I haven't lost anything.
Right, yes.
In terms of range, I haven't lost anything. In certain aspects, actually, I've gained a bit of my top end. It's just, I notice things, and sound quality, a few things that sometimes just, you know, you grow old as well, and things don't last forever. So it's just learning to accept that with age. Certain things just are not the same, and it's fine. Just accepting that, and taking it with you, and using the stuff that you can do instead
so
of
taking the positives and building on that.
Absolutely.
So talking about the Classic Rock Show, Rudy Carden has basically left. He's gone back to LA this week. He's put it all over Instagram. You got introduced on that Instagram feed, which we've all seen. You know, so you've come to do, I think it's about the last 10 shows of the current tour. So how did it happen? Did you get a call from James, or what was the story?
You said it already. That's exactly what happened.
Okay.
That's exactly what happened. Previous commitments by Rudy. He and then James gave me a call, and we chatted. I explained to him that it is tough with a big family. I've got 3 kids and a baby girl now, so it's hard for Alicia, for me to be away for a longer period of time. At this point, it is. It's not going to be forever. So it has to be, you know, we have to manage everything to the millimeter. With childcare, with all the boys' activities they do, schooling, etc., plus the child, plus the baby. So, I mean, it's tough. That's why we had a long chat, me and James, but we got to an agreement, and I was happy, more than happy to come in.
Well, I think the fans of the Classic Rock Show will agree with me in saying it's great to see you back. Again, I've not seen you live, and I will watch tonight in anticipation. Rudy's great, but you've got to bring your own character to the actual show tonight. So we've got a great set list as always. What are your favourite songs in that set list? What really light your fire?
I like them all. That's the thing about it. I'm pretty sure. Look, I'm pretty sure that, when you speak to other members of the band, you're going to get the same thing. The view of classic rock is it's subjective, isn't it? Because it touches you personally. So it's what you like the most. So you can't get a common ground really between, I don't know, millions of people that like classic rock. So billions, I would say. So yeah, I mean, I've got a couple of favorite ones. I like Deep Purple. I like AC/DC. I like Journey as well. So I like Queen. I like them all.
I was just going to say, it's every single song on the set list, isn't it?
I like them all. So I mean, it's great to mix things about as well sometimes. Some fans, I understand that they are attached to a few songs. What I would say to that is, it's also great to keep an open mind.
Absolutely.
When we bring new songs into the list, because it's just to refresh. You know, doesn't mean that they're gone forever. It's just another year, another passing, another story to tell.
Yeah. As you say, there's some fantastic iconic material out there which you guys can tap into. I saw a post on Facebook last week, somebody who's not seen the Classic Rock Show before, and they've come down and they've watched the show last week, and what they've said is, I've not seen the Classic Rock Show before, but this show has introduced me to a whole different musical journey of material that person is now going to take away with them and now enjoy. So that's opened doors to people in terms of music. So that sounds fantastic. So who are your influences in terms of vocalists? Who do you know, who do you set your benchmark to?
You know what, if you go way back in the beginning of my childhood, I have to say, first was ABBA. I learned how to do harmonies listening to ABBA records. I know a lot of people don't like ABBA. I love ABBA. My dad was a huge fan, and there was all these records of ABBA when I was growing up in the 70s. So I listened to a lot of ABBA growing up. That's how I learned close harmonies and all, you know, the way that they did it. And then you start delving into stuff, so stuff comes on the radio. It's kind of like a wormhole, isn't it? You get down it, like a rabbit hole, you get down it and you just start finding new stuff. I found Queen as you go old, and then you go, you know, some people are in certain bands and they associate with other acts. And I found White Snake. Then, oh, wait a minute, but White Snake didn't begin here. So there's Deep Purple, there's connection to Deep Purple, and then there's Led Zeppelin, more British. And then there you go. It's just, it just started fanning out. So, and my vinyl collection is, you know, is huge. But so many. I have lots of taste for soul and funk as well. Tower of Power, Stevie Wonder. George Benson, I'm a huge fan of George Benson.
So if I was to ask you about your vinyl collection, what was the last LP vinyl record you had on your turntable at home?
Just now?
Yeah.
It was Come and Get It, White Snake.
Wow. Right. So that says everything really, doesn't it?
Yes. But yeah, I mean, I've got so many influences. I have trouble saying to people, who is your favorite singer?
Yeah.
I would possibly say Stevie Wonder, because I've listened to more Stevie Wonder than anyone else. I've got all his records. But in terms of hard rock, I don't know. I like different songs, and different songs will put me in a different vibe. Stuff of Coverdale that I like, stuff of Plant that I love. You know, in Gillan, it just keeps going on. You know, so I have trouble picking a favorite. Because they're all so good.
I was just going to say, because I have the same thing. If I'm stood at a jukebox in a bar and I put my pound in, I then have this memory freeze of thinking, what do I put on? I don't know what to put on. Out of my 3 songs, I don't have a clue what to put in the jukebox. I really don't.
It's what do you feel on the day for me? If I'm cooking or something in the kitchen, I'll go I fancy Little Boss. So I'm going to put Springsteen on. There you go. I'll put a bit of some of those old vinyls. Today I fancy, I don't know, I'm going to listen to Earl Clough just playing jazz with his trio band. And today I fancy Harry Connick Jr. Next day I'm going to listen to, I don't know, I really want to listen to White Snake today. Next day, Led Zeppelin 4, you know what I mean? It's just, it depends on what the mood is. I put Pavarotti on sometimes.
Right, So just going back to, like, say, for example, your earlier years before the Classic Rock Show, how did you get into sort of the singing side of things? How did you, was it something you've always done, or is it something you came across by accident, or?
I wanted to be you're going to find this hilarious. I wanted to be a guitar player.
There is a bit of a common theme coming out of these interviews, I can tell you.
But I've quickly found out that you actually need to be talented to be. You know, so I mean, I'm a self-taught guitar player, and I wanted to be a guitar player. Singing was not in my radar at all.
Yeah.
So the garage bands that I had when I was younger, when I was a teenager, I was the guitar player.
Yeah.
And I had this huge influence by, do you know Vincent D'Amico? A Spanish flamenco guitar player. Anyway, there was this series this was what, 92, Seville 92, I think it is. And they were something like called the Guitar Heroes. That's what they called them. Every week, Vincent D'Amico would walk through the cobblestones streets of Spain, of Seville, and mention a few guitar heroes of decades past and recent. So that was like, that hit me at a point in my life where I was just sponging everything that was music. And up until then, I just wanted to be a guitar player, just like Nuno Bettencourt, and you know what I mean. And Vincent
He's a bit of a
D'Amico.
stunt guitar player, isn't Nuno Bettencourt?
It's amazing. It's Portuguese. It's extreme guitar. So it's, why do I like Nuno Bettencourt? Because he's Portuguese? No, because he's an extremely like me, because he's an extremely talented guitar player, which I'm not. But yeah, so I wanted to be a guitar player. And then one rehearsal that I had, I can't pinpoint it when, with my band, the vocalist couldn't show up, and then I did, okay, I'll do the rehearsal myself, and I'll sing this. And I went, oh, this is actually quite nice. I like this feeling. And gradually, bit by bit, I started singing more and more, and then that was it. So.
Brilliant. Well, so you've ended up back at the Classic Rock Show.
Yep.
You've had a little bit of ill health going on for about three years or so. You've made a fantastic recovery. What are your plans after the Classic Rock Show? Have you got any plans in place?
I do have a few concerts left in this year.
Yeah.
I tend to book them quite ahead. So I've got a few more things, different styles, not just rock. I do other stuff connected to musical theatre, which is also a big part of my background.
Right, so is that kind of sort of like musicals, operatics kind of thing? No,
musical theatre. So I did a few musicals, lucky enough to do a few musicals in the UK, and I still have connections with certain producers, certain MDs, and that brings me concerts of a different vibe.
Wow, brilliant! Yeah.
So I do that, and going forward as well, there's always possibilities of opening possibly a business in Portugal that I've always wanted to do. An academy. So I've got a school here, and I wanted to try and open something similar. Over there in Portugal. So that's what me and my wife are working at the moment.
That sounds fantastic, doesn't it? It sounds like you've got a lot of plans in place, a lot of exciting projects which you're going to undertake and follow through. So it sounds fantastic. So next year, Classic Rock Show, any indications about you coming back again next year, do you think?
Well, let's keep that. Let's keep that a surprise. Never say never. I love my time at the Classic Rock Show. And if the invitation comes, and if it's right, and if everything fits, then why not?
Why not? There we go. So, Ricardo, thank you ever so much.
Pleasure.
It's been an absolute pleasure. And like I say, I'm going to love watching you tonight. It's just a great show. It's a great production, and the fans are going to love it. So, and this is what all this series is all about: is getting to meet the personalities behind the artists on stage, just to see and understand a little bit more where they're coming from, and you've done that for us today. You've given us a good insight into where you are, so thank you ever so much.
Pleasure.
If you have enjoyed this edition of Backstage with Gigs and Guitars, it is free to subscribe, which will ensure that you will not miss out on future editions of your favourite content. Check us out on Instagram at Gigs and Guitars UK, or drop us a line in the comments below to let us know what you would like us to feature in the future. And finally, our thanks go to CMP, James Cole, Manny Manson, and the artists themselves for allowing us backstage to interview the Classic Rock Show.